Welcome, everyone, to Chirping Zebras, episode 42, the Jackie Robinson episode. I'm Mark Riley alongside my partner, Gino Binda Jr., and we are back at AOA Studios.
We are back, baby.
We're back in Beverly at AOA Studios. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
We've been virtual or
live. You've been doing the live shows
all over the place. But we're back at the best studio that you can record anything at: podcast, a record, album,
whatever they call it, whatever the kids call it these days.
I'm old. It's the TikTok. Want to thank our sponsor, the Referee's Crease.
Yep.
Your one-stop shop for all your refereeing needs. You get the quarter zip on tonight. Also, want to remind people to like and subscribe on YouTube. I always wait till the end. I'm going to do it at the beginning tonight. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Find us on all the social medias and like us on those. The Instagram, the Facebook. Of course, the TikTok.
Yep.
Find us on all those and like and subscribe. That's the big one on YouTube. And so we've had a few things happen.
Yes.
Since we last got together in the virtual world.
Right.
And you had your nice trip out to Air Force.
Yes, I was out there watching a couple of college hockey games, and then I was a little bummed out that I missed the big alumni game at the Warrior Arena.
You missed the Warrior for Life Fund game.
Yep.
Incredible.
I bet.
The Bruins had Bergeron, Krejci, Tim Thomas came back and coached.
Wow.
Brad Marchand showed up after his game at
I saw
1:00.
the pictures. His suit looked sick.
I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And all those Navy SEALs, I kept telling them, they're my rock stars.
Yes.
Like, I don't care who I meet. It doesn't matter the rock star or the sports star. It's like you look at them and you're like, all right, I can do what you do. Maybe not as well, right, obviously, but Navy SEALs, man, they're another breed.
Yes.
They do shit like, so I ended up getting shot by a Navy SEAL during the game. Yes. Sniped. This one
Meaning you can't get out of the way of a puck.
Meaning that I don't know if you can see it. I'll pull my boot up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in a walking boot now for 4 to 6 weeks because Chris, one of the SEALs, dumping the puck in, and I'm yelling. And he had his
You were
head down.
flatbacking on the wall, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. I was off the wall. This video. I will get the video. And he goes, I let it go. And the next thing I heard was the puck hit your ankle.
Oh, it's the worst.
That's how hard it hit. And the first period, of course, I finished the game. I stayed for the night because the Stanley Cup's in the house and the whole ball of wax, right? Great night, though. But he felt terrible. Like I went over the bench. I go, "You're Navy SEALs. I thought your fucking aim was better than this."
Yeah, right.
And we had a good laugh about it.
That's pretty good.
He said he's going to send me a care package from Va Beach. I said I want a sniper rifle, 3 grenades, and some type of thing that lets me swim underwater. And he said, "How about a hoodie?" So that's probably what he's going to send. But
Sweet.
Either way,
is he going to send 2?
It was awesome. Yeah. Well, I told him we're both largest, but. It was an unbelievable game to be a part of.
I bet.
Such a great, to benefit the Warrior for Life Fund and what they do down in Virginia Beach.
Right.
Our buddy, Captain Ryan Crowley, was there. He played. Matter of fact.
How was he on the ice?
He was pretty good. I think he's a better SEAL. Probably a better swimmer. But I say that now because I'm not in the room with him because he could probably kill me in 6 different ways, but he never would because he's such a great guy. He gave me a Warrior for Life coin.
Oh, that's cool.
I should have brought it to show. Incredible.
Show and tell next week.
But of course, last week's episode, we had him on.
Yep.
We also had Aaron Bedosian on, who was played in the American Hockey League. And was a SEAL. Yeah. Former SEAL. And of course, all the Bruins were there. It was just a great time. We met the iRobot lady, Helen Grainer, who came on the podcast last week. Yeah. They developed the Roomba, but they also did a cool thing with a robot that found is it IEDs?
Yes. Yep.
I always call them IUDs. That's a whole different thing. And although there probably should be a robot to find those, but maybe there is. So anyway, it was really cool. It was a cool event, and we'll have a little video package on it. when we get the video and stuff. But check out the social media. There's some cool pictures.
I'm glad I didn't interrupt that story because I was going to ask you how the Stanley Cup guy was.
Fantastic!
Like you got your picture with the Stanley Cup. I was going to bring that in. I'm glad I didn't interrupt that.
I got a picture with the cup. We can put them up while we're talking about it. I got a picture with the cup. I got a picture with the handle of the cup.
Yeah.
But it was a great night. We're going to do more stuff with the Warrior for Life Fund. They have games and different things they do throughout the year. So luckily they love the Zebras. So we want to bring our guests on tonight. We are fired up. This is going to be a great night, and our guests are. This is going to be incredible. But before I introduce them, I want to play a video. Okay, they made a video, something brewing, and it's unbelievable. We're going to play the video now. Check this out, and then when I come back, I'll introduce the boys from the video.
Stanley, where the cup at? Stanley, where the cup at? Stanley, where the cup at? Here we go. Run it back. Yeah. Here you go. Check for what you started. Stanley with a cup back. Stanley with a cup back. Stanley with a cup back. It's been a minute now, it's time to bring the cup back. Ask Kyle, ask Gordy. I bring it to you like the Bruins number 40. I'm from the era of the Nordiques. Pablo Datsuk with the Deke, short-handed. Brad Marchand with the shorty. About to go Tory Kruger. Boogeyman, rest in peace. Jimmy Hayes, Derek Brugger. You good, I'm Ovechkin. Best in the capital. Haters pasta knock me on the low. Ask Bruins fans that they know. Ever since Nintendo it was Blades of Steel. If you ask me, Esposito is the way that I feel. Females pirouette from my highlight reel. Cron wall of 5-hole, leave a yard sale. Yeah, back to the Mariola music. Tape to tape, I'm getting fan mail, but I can't tell cause it says Dom Hosick and Johnny Busick. All these pink cats know is I'm too sick. Healthy scratch, you a DMP. I'm undrafted Hall of Famer, Martin St. Louis. I Johnny Boy chuck a glove in the air and do my celly like Timu Solani. It's hockey night. Luke Robitaille skates up tight. Rick talking like I walk it, we can fight a lamplight. What I got you can't teach like height. Only way you calm me is Conn Smythe. I might go Conor McDavid. Sean Thornton still my favorite. Divers like Supon Lapierre and Kessler, I hate it. Heckler, here's a Vesna, save it. Sidney Crosby beat you to the punch. I put the win in the Penguins. Ain't even begin to catch wreck. Mark Recchi, mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4 check. Cross check. I'm Jonathan 10 toes down from my hometown. As a matter of fact, I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Something's brewing at the garden. I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Yeah, I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Something's brewing at the garden. I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Don't get body check for what you started. Stanley with a cup back. Stanley with a cup back. Stanley with a cup back. If you ain't trying to pass it, nah, fuck that.
Stanley, where's the cup at?
Yes.
Stanley, where's the cup at? That's my favorite new line. Joining us here on Chirping Zebras. That video is absolutely, I said it was dope.
Yes,
even as
you
an
did.
old guy,
I mean,
can say it's
what
dope.
kind of energy that just bring to this group right now? Like,
from Hangers, we have SMOK and Axe. And gentlemen, welcome to Chirping
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
That was straight fire. That
Yes.
video, I absolutely love it for more than just one reason. But the greatest thing in that video for me, you mentioned Datsuk and Crosby,
Robitaille.
Robitaille. So cool. Where did that come from?
So one of the things, my favorite thing about the record is that, you know, most of my friends who are hip hop fans aren't hockey fans.
Okay.
Right? And so they have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like,
I can attest to that.
And hold on. Share a little bit about what it was like recording the record for the first time as a person who didn't know what I was talking about, but was recording it in good faith.
Right before I even get into that, I learned about one of his lines yesterday.
I forgot about that.
So we were talking about the Ask Hal, Ask Gordon line. Like, he opens it up, Ask Hal, Ask Gordon. So I thought he was saying something completely different. I won't say because I don't want to butcher the person's name or whatever. But when he gave me the explanation, I'm like, wow, I'm still learning. We recorded that in 2022, and I'm still learning about the record in 2024. Like some of the references, just being very transparent and honest. So, but as far as recording it and putting it together, so how our process goes is both of us are MCs. I'm the beat maker. He directs, produces a lot of our visuals and videos. So I made the beat first. Your favorite Stanley with a cup at?
Yeah.
I literally was just sitting in my room and I freestyled the hook because I just wanted to say what came naturally to me. I didn't want to perpetrate or front like I knew a lot about hockey, but I did want to at least be able to come with the parts that I knew. So I'm just like, let me just think of something that's going to catch, that's going to stick. So Stanley with a cup at.
I've been singing that all afternoon. Stanley with a cup at.
I was like, what are people going to say during the game, walking out of the game, chanting like when they were in it, and then. So sent him the beat with the hook, and when he got it, the next day he called me. He was like, "Yo, he probably had written 64 bars worth, 2 songs. It's just a lot of bars.
That's got to be playing during playoff time. Like that would get me buzzing listening to that on the radio during playoff time. Oh, playoff hockey's the best.
They played that before a game at the Garden.
So so it's really interesting because like I was saying, like my friends don't really know what I'm talking about a lot of time, and so like. My people who watch hockey, who are into hockey, can say things like, can pick up on the Luke Robitaille lines in the bars that it's because y'all speak hockey. You don't, whether you listen to hip hop regularly or not, you speak hockey so fluently. It's an easy listen. You know what I mean? Right. And so I feel like on one hand, there's a part of it that doesn't get to be appreciated because people don't understand. Like, you know, when he's like. It's been a minute now. It's time to bring the cup back. And I say, ask how that's Gordy. Ask how that's Gordy. It's because, you know, for those who watch hockey, they know what a Gordie Howe hat trick is. Yep. So that means we down to catch the fade. We're going to put up 2 points tonight, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get the job done to bring the cup back. You know what I mean? And so it's like, but if you don't know who he is and you can't make that parallel, as a rap line, that's not even like dope to you. It's just kind of like, what did he even say? You know what I mean? So you have to know who he is, know what he did, and then be able to apply that to the record. And so I think that a lot of the song is that. And I learned that, you know, it's the lead single to our project, Respect My Fanhood, which it's basically like a song like that for each major sport. You know what I mean? And so, but hockey kind of really opened the doors in my eyes, rather, to understanding that people like music for so many different reasons. They don't even have to know what the hell you're saying. Right. If there's certain people who, you know, like the video because they're from the town and they just like to see us in Boston gear repping for the city, you know? So
I mean, I have a 9-year-old, right? I mean, there's where she has no idea what the hell they say in a meeting, but she friggin' loves it and listens and sings it. I'm like, well, you can't, like, you have no idea what the hell you're saying, but you're digging it, right? Yeah. So, like, just like...
I think one of my favorite things is, though, hearing the perspective of both sides, the people who are heavy on the hockey side in terms of just being very knowledgeable of the sport, the people like me who are into the musicality of it. So someone like him, and I give him props because of how he's able to make double, triple entendres of a lot of people's names and a lot of terminology. So I don't know anything about Mario Lemieux, but the Mario Lemieux play on lines or play on words, for example. Like I caught that, like, you know, just certain terminology and things that he was able to play off of that made it either relatable or a really dope listen in both aspects. So, I mean, and we're glad that people take to it the way they do for whatever reason that they do.
I mean, Datsuk was a, you know, short-handed musician, for Christ's sake. Just filthy.
Well, first of all,
and that led into Masha.
Right.
Short-handed magician.
I feel like Datsuk isn't in NHL, the video game, because I play, because he's so nasty that you can't emulate and mimic the things that he was doing with the puck on the ice. You know what I'm saying? Like he was that filthy with it. And so it's just like, you know, he deserved, you know, his Hall of Fame nod this year. Well, that was this year, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know they retired his number like a couple weeks ago. I was watching that.
Yep.
And so, you know, but yeah, he was just one of my favorite players.
My buddy's favorite player.
He was one of my favorite players growing up watching, because I had never seen anybody do the things that he was doing on the ice before, and it was just like, it looked fake. It was like,
yeah, you're right.
And you remember, like in the old Sega games, the best players, like the Bo Jacksons, the Wayne Garcia, you couldn't catch them. They could like run around and everybody be chasing them around. Like he felt like that in real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he'd hit you with the deke and the toe drag. He was just so filthy.
He'd leave your underwear at the blue line.
Yeah. You needed a shower after you watched him play. That's how dirty he is.
Like my buddy Charlie still sends us like videos of him. Like every once in a while on the you know, mass text, you get the Datsuk sick, like whatever.
So I just wanted to make something honestly that kind of reflected like what I knew to be hockey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I remember playing Blades of Steel with my dad growing up, and Boston not having a team, and I was like, how the fuck we don't got a team?
Right.
We in Original Six City, Original Six team, and we ain't got no team in like the biggest hockey game of its time. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it was things like that that kind of got me, because of the Bostonian in me. I was edgy about that, like fucking bitch ass teams. You know what I'm saying? So when and it got me on that, and so, you know, and then, you know, going to games at the old Garden got me into it. You know what I mean? It was a very different vibe than, you know, pre-Fleet Center and what's now TD and everything like that. And then Anson Carter being on the Bruins.
Yes.
He was kind of like, oh, there's black people that play hockey? You know what I mean? Because, and interestingly enough, I've seen Anson Carter play before I had ever heard of who Willie O'Ree was, which is a whole nother thing.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? But to see him on ice, it was kind of like, oh, I bet. Like, we rolling. You know what I mean? So, you know.
And he's fantastic as a broadcaster, too.
Yes, he's really good.
Love
Yeah,
him
I like him.
as a broadcaster.
Yep.
And now, so you bring up Willie O'Ree, and he was the first black player in the NHL, Boston Bruin, incredible talent, right?
Really
and
nice guy.
Like we talked about before, I think overlooked as what he represented to the sport. You know, this is the Jackie Robinson episode. Obviously, he was huge to all sports. Willie O'Ree was the first in the NHL, in hockey.
Yeah, I think part of it had to do with, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I think he played like 3 games before he went back down, if I'm not mistaken. Like when he first came up.
Yeah,
I got that right?
He did bounce back and forth.
Right.
And he played like a season, then not, and then a season for the Bruins.
Yeah. I remember it being back and forth partially because of his injury to his eye, and you know what I'm saying. And I think that's part of the reason, you know. Because obviously, you know, Jackie Robinson came in and he made a splash and he just, you know, took off from there. And so I think that, you know, I don't want to call it inconsistency. That's not the word I really want to use. But just not having the games played, you know what I mean, contributes to the legacy. You know what I mean? People know that you were there, but when you go back to be like, oh, let me see what his games look like, and you can't see that, it kind of is like, I feel like people take away some of the, I don't want to say take away the credibility, they just don't give as much credibility.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I would look at it.
And we had the pleasure of meeting Willie O'Ree earlier this year too. So we went to the opening night of the playoffs game against the Maple Leafs, and so they were doing the meet and greet. So we had a chance to actually shake his hand.
Shout out to Jack.
Big shout out to Jack. Big shout out to Jack Edwards. Willie O'Ree, man, he's sharp. Like just his style, like this, like just the fedora look. Like that's what I want to look like when I get older. Like I think I found my fashion sense by way of Willie. So shout out to you, sir.
That's awesome.
I do want to say this, right? I think that too, like, you know, I don't want to rag on my city's team, but like, you know, Willie just got his number retired last year. So to me, it's like I put that on the Bruins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like for all that he's done in hockey, you know, we got the Willie O'Ree Community Award that he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's, you know, all across everywhere, and so nationwide. And so for what he's done for the sport, and not just the sport, but for the city, like, to be from Dorchester and not know who he is growing up is like a travesty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know who Ted Williams is.
Right.
And I won't get into it, but y'all out there, y'all know what the fuck I'm saying. And so, you know, I think that, and Ted Williams ain't fucking Willie O'Ree. There's one who breaks that barrier. That's it. And so it's no shade to Ted Williams. It's gonna sound like I was ragging on him all day because of what I said about Poppy and the statues. But I don't got no beef with Ted. I really, really don't. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, I just look at that and I just feel like when we went to the event, you know, there's 20,000 people that go to a Bruins game, we'll call it, give or take. For there to be less than 100 people at his event, to me, that's just not, you know, what the fuck are we talking about?
Right.
I can get more than 100 people to come up to an event if you tell me Willie's going to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I can't speak to what the Bruins do or don't do as it pertains to him, but just based on us going, I felt some type of way that the place wasn't packed out, or at least there weren't more people. And what's crazy is I actually earlier that day went to the signing, because there was a signing that morning and then there was a meet and greet for pitchers that evening. And the only way you could get access to the meet and greet for pitchers that evening was if you had a ticket to the game. And it was like, bro, there's the only black people at the game are the people who work here, especially at a Bruins playoff game. So who's coming to this?
Right.
Why would y'all make it exclusive like this? You know what I mean?
Makes no sense.
And so, like I said, I'm not here to rag on my city and my team, but when you ask me like about Willie and just kind of, you know, I just think that he should be so much. There should be so much more respect on his name throughout the Bruins culture, the Boston community, and so on and so forth. It's why Bill Russell didn't want to let people build a statue. You know what I mean? Like that, he didn't have a statue for years. He fought that for years. So I think that these, like we said earlier, some of these things that I don't want to call it behind the scenes, but it's kind of like, you know, when you tell me that you want to. I feel like Willie's number got retired because of the centennial season coming up, and it's like, you can't not have his number retired with all of this going on. I don't know if it happened during the centennial celebration, but it was in line with you know what I'm saying, with the vibe and the energy. And so to me, it was kind of like, I don't want to call it a throw-in, but it's like, you should have been on that, is all I'm going to say.
Should have happened
you know what I'm
before
saying?
it did.
Yeah.
Well before it did. His number should have been up in the rafters years before it did.
But you're also not gonna, I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of people like, how come Willie's number is not up there?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
no,
So
right.
there's that piece too.
Right.
And
you know what I mean?
And like you had mentioned, the games played, that does factor into it in the sense that,
absolutely,
you know, it's not like he broke scoring records.
Exactly.
Or had, you know, led them to a cup. That does factor in.
Absolutely.
So that's the, you know, there's kind of the other side to that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what he did was hugely significant. And
I mean, listen, we got Jackie Robinson's number on Jackie Robinson's day. Everybody in the whole league wears 42. Right. The whole league. And granted, obviously, like you said, he wasn't the same player. I just think that the Bruins, as a team, could acknowledge Willie in a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just it's like. But I think that hockey as a whole, there's this weird, you know, there's different cultures, as we talked about earlier, and I think that exposing different sides of this. If hockey's one big culture, you have all of these subcultures within it. You know what I mean? And some of the subcultures have never even heard of the other subcultures that would exist within the same culture. And I think that, you know, shows like this is kind of like the beginning of some of that. People kind of, oh, interesting. Like when I go to playoff games and I got the Bruins logo braided into my head. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't even do that with your hair.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
And I got some good lettuce.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's one of those things where I get to bring my side of the subculture to the Bruins culture. And fans who are behind me, I can feel them not wanting to tap me or not say anything, but they want to get a picture so you can feel their hand go right over your head. You know what I mean? And you get that weird feeling and they're like, It's like, it's cool. It's all love. You know what I mean? But it's things like that I've enjoyed about, crossing the subcultures and just becoming more ingrained into not just the Bruins culture, but hockey culture as a whole,
It's just great stuff. And you run events that help kind of bring the two cultures together. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it.
Yeah, no.
But
we ran, I don't know if we run events plural. We're trying to. Yeah, because I just want to be real with people, because people are going to be like, oh,
What's the next one?
Yeah.
All right, you ran an event.
Go ahead, give it. Go ahead.
So to celebrate the release of our project, Respect My Fan, out now on all the streaming platforms, or whatever camera.
Go find it.
Right, download that, click it, whatever, buy it, all that. But to celebrate the release of the project that Something's Brewing is on, we did our Black and Gold event in collaboration with Shevu Roller Skating Rink, which is the oldest or therefore the first Black-owned roller skating rink in Massachusetts, located in Dorchester. And what happened was we had Blades come over and skate around with the kids and the families at the rink.
That's cool.
We had a whole bunch of prize giveaways. So people walked away with kids walked away with autographed pucks and signed autographs and just a number of different stickers and giveaways and whatnot, and copies of our project. And it was just a way to.
And shout out to Jack, and Jack came through.
Big time,
Jack
and just having a relationship with him and seeing it evolve the way it has in the last year and a half, it's just been absolutely amazing. We text and we call and talk to him, and he showed up to Shevu just casually, but they're in support of us.
Come to pass.
Cool, right. Came to the come to pass place. Shout out to Todd, Don, Brandy, and Tayshawn Taylor. But and Mike, because he had him. Yep, because he had him on the podcast too. Yep. So turntable teachers. So we put this event together just as a way to bring these two worlds together, to show that there is Black fandom in the sport, that there is Black representation in the sport of hockey, and that we're not just two people who made two rappers that made a hockey record. Like, this is hip hop having like a very unique representation in the sport, and that's typically not associated with like hip hop culture. In fact, we have a couple records on this project that are solely about that aspect of it, where Black people and hip hop culture are generally associated with these sports, and by that I'm talking hockey, tennis, and a couple others. But yeah.
What's great about Something Brewing for me is that it's not like you guys just threw out a hockey song to throw out a hockey song just to have a rap song about hockey, right? That's a song that obviously what you're talking about, and you're a true hockey fan, not just a Boston fan, but a hockey fan, and that's what's great about that. Like you said, guys like us who are hockey crazy love it for that reason. Not only that it's a great song and it's got a great hook and it's got a great beat, but you can tell your shit, right? It's not like you just threw together a hockey song and said slap shot and hook. And
you know what I mean.
But you know what I'm saying.
But I'll tell you, that's because I'll say that in my opinion, hockey, out of all of the sports, that's hockey culture, knowing your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, hockey fans are very strict about what is and what's not. I feel like they're the most knowledgeable fans because I don't want to call it a nuanced sport, but it's the smaller of the four major sports, right? And it's not a casual sport like basketball where you can just go to the park and see people playing. So if you're into it, you're really into it. You know what I mean? You're not really, there's not really a lot of fringe hockey fans.
No, you're right. It's not like the, when March Madness comes around for college basketball, everyone's a fan.
Exactly.
They have no idea what's going on, but they're
you pick your teams and you fill out the bracket.
Sundays. How many people get together on a Sunday and they don't give a shit about what teams are playing?
Fantasy football.
Do,
right? Absolutely.
Fantasy football, all the betting. Baseball, same thing, right? How many people go to Fenway Park who give a flying shit about what's going on in the field?
All.
They want to go to Fenway Park.
Right.
Hockey's different.
Yes,
right? Because you don't
absolutely.
have those, like you said, that fringe that I'm going to a hockey game just for the social aspect.
Because
very few people are at the Garden.
Unless you have extra grand lying around too.
That's a whole nother discussion. A whole nother discussion. But you're right. Like, you don't have a lot of what do they call pink hats?
Pink hats,
right?
absolutely.
Which I hate in a lot of ways because there's a lot of people that just like to wear pink hats, and they're actually fans. You know what I'm saying? But that's true.
Right.
I wear a pink hat. I don't give a shit. But it's true. But that's why it's such a great song. I don't want to keep going back to it.
No, it's good.
Stanley, where's my cup at? Freaking great song. Everyone should be listening. That should be played before games in the Garden. We're gonna.
Yes, I agree.
We are gonna make that happen.
That'd be super dope, man. We'd be honored. I mean, and I'll say this too. Like, I feel like, when it comes to like just kind of being a knowledgeable hockey fan, I knew that going into it that, I mean, there's a couple of things like outside of just hockey fan. It's like, bro, you're bringing. I hate some of this stuff. It just takes me a minute to like take a second to say for y'all watching, because sometimes I be about to like jump off the cliff like too far, and it's like no. This is the thing. We can jump off the cliff and we can go there, but like I can't always say it how I would just like fling it off because people are gonna perceive it however they take it, and so I'm just trying to be a little bit more cognizant about who's watching. How they're gonna take what I say. Do I care? No, because they're choosing to watch it. But I also still have to kind of just be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that's that's where we are right now in society and our culture.
Which is chips.
It's like,
well,
which is chips.
People have, they're gonna watch. We had Stephanie Wood on.
Yeah,
Caitlin Clark came up, and we talked about Caitlin Clark, and I said she has that swagger like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. Simple statement, right? Next thing you know, someone on the social media comes at me because I didn't mention Magic Johnson and wanted to make it about race. And I'm like, dude, I said Magic. The first person I said was Michael Jordan. And Larry Bird, we're in Boston. Like, it had nothing to do with what color Larry Bird is. He's Larry Bird.
You know what's so crazy about Larry Bird? Straight up, shout out to the 08 Celtics, right? Thank you for winning so we could stop hearing about fucking Larry Bird. Hey, yo. Listen, because I know where that comes from, and I'm not knocking Larry, right? Larry Legend, come on, stop playing. What are we talking about? But there's this thing in Boston, right? And I know we going into a different area, but there's this thing in Boston, right, where it's like Larry Bird, Bobby Orr, Ted Williams. Oh my fucking God. And the thing is, right, my rule is if you win a championship, you're the talk. Right? So before Paulie and them won, I was cool with the Larry Bird for everything. Yeah. Now that Paulie and JT and them won, don't Larry Bird me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I said earlier, Poppy got 3 rings. Get him a statue. Yeah. Don't Ted Williams me no more. He got a tunnel. He got 2 statues. He got 2 statues in front of Fenway.
Wait a minute. But Ortiz got a bridge.
You can't put a sticker over where it says Ted Williams Tunnel.
That's true. That's true.
That's engraved in stone. Not going nowhere.
You're right.
Most famous tunnel in Boston.
Well, and anyone who knows Celtics history.
But I say that, right? I say that because it goes back to, I don't know if we was recording earlier when we was having this conversation, but it's like Boston is seen as a white city. So the references are white, everything is white. And so when people hear that, it just triggers them, whether it's right, wrong, fair or not. It's just kind of like the reference has always been. And look at the statues. Like Larry Bird got his shoes, excuse me. But Bobby Orr got a statue, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody and so there's a certain, before Bill Russell gave the thumbs up, there just wasn't any statues. So there's a certain energy of, who we discuss in the city, a la talk, because of talk radio and things like that, that is kind of like, people just feel some type of way. I don't think that, I think that energy gets projected. You hear people talk about it, and then that's what people who are outside of the city take and run with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yep. No, because they get that energy from us. So
it's a great perspective that I didn't even put towards that comment. And for me, and like I was gonna say, anyone who knows the Celtics history, Bill Russell was the greatest player. I mean, how do you argue 11 championships? You know what I mean?
You say
like,
Larry Legend.
Well,
I'm just talking shit. I'm just talking shit, y'all. I'm just talking shit.
Oh, we bust balls all the time. This is the podcast.
Nah, but people watching are gonna think I was serious.
I'm trying to be profound, and he
We'll just cut that real. We'll just cut it.
All right.
No, but that's so true, though.
No,
right?
it is true. It is true. And
not for nothing, we can see Larry play like there ain't a lot of footage of Bill. Like Bill, you know, he won his championships and shit, but we seen Larry talk his shit, win his chips, and do his thing. Yeah. So it's not like I said, I'm not here to rag on Larry, Ted, or anybody else who falls into the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that I've living here. There's a certain cloud that you live under as a black sports fan, and when you travel. Like, when Tom Brady left, I wasn't watching fucking Bucks games. I hope they lost because I fucking cheer for the Patriots. Yeah, I'm here for the name on the front, not the name on the back. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And so
I never cheered for the Bucks.
I didn't either.
When I had to listen to sports radio ball wash him for the whole week and he's fucking in another state halfway across the country, I'm like, yo, that's white people shit. That's white That's white Boston sports fan shit. Let me be very clear about what I'm saying, because people will just take that white people shit and run too far, and that's what I mean by I gotta watch what I say. Yeah. Right? And so in here, it's like Tom Brady's a god, and I get it. I'm down with the Tom Brady team too. But once he's on the other team, he's on the fucking other team. I don't want to hear shit about it. No excuses, no nothing. Paul Pierce is my favorite Boston athlete of all time, right? Because before we had Belichick, Brady, anybody else, once we started winning, Paul Pierce was the first person who was here from those teams that didn't win. You get what I'm saying?
He was here when
he carried us when we was chipped.
He was the start of the building of that era.
Right, that era.
He played when the
you get what I'm
Celtics
saying? You get what I'm
for
saying?
Championships.
Right. You know what I mean?
He suffered through those years.
I mean, listen, he almost lost his life.
I know. And people don't even that's something that I bet a lot of people don't even know, let alone remember.
And so
when he got stabbed in the nightclub.
Yeah, and came back and played 82 games and put it down. You know what I'm saying? So
I thought you guys were gonna bring up the time he got wheeled out in the wheelchair.
See, that's how they do, Paulie. That's why I brought up the example that I did, because to me it's like people can clown or whatever, and that's whatever, but it's like, nah, bro, he almost lost his life in this city to some people who are from this city, and then still came back and won a chip for y'all. Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? So you won't hear me goof about him being in a wheelchair. And I know, I get it, cool to that. But it's like there's another side to it where it's like that. There's one of those things that kind of goofs at him, and there's another one that puts respect on his name. And so for me, it's like, I'm here to put respect on Paulie's name. You're not going to hear me the same way people Larry Legend, you're going to hear me Paulie. And I'm not saying Paulie was better than Larry. That's because I know people going to jump to that too. That's not what we're saying. But I'm just talking about in terms of championing the person who's most current and what the face of the city is. It's like when the Celtics won in 2008, if you still bringing up Larry, it's like, why? Right. You didn't see KG, you didn't see these dudes put in this work. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so that's just, I feel like, you know, and the same thing happens with the Bruins. You know what I'm saying? It's like people always want to refer back to, you know, the days of the people in the rafters. We'll just say the people in the rafters because I ain't gonna throw nobody's name out there, right? But it's like at the end of the day, like if you from the 2000, if you're in my age group, right? Like I didn't get to watch those people play. Right. I watched Bergie, I watched Chara, I watched that team. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched Marshawn as a rookie and now get to see him as a captain. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. I feel like there's. How can I put it? I lost my train of thought a little bit because I was gonna go somewhere else. But go ahead. Yeah, we wrote.
And you bring up an interesting point because
I just feel like people always go back to the old shit. You know what I'm saying? Boston's an old city, and they always go into old stuff. And sometimes sometimes we just got to get with the times. I like to keep it classic and keep it original, but sometimes we just got to get with the times. You
made a good point. You said my age. You grew up watching Bergie, watching Paulie, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm older than fucking everyone in here.
You had me watching Slapshot.
Yeah. Not saying that TikTok. But I grew up watching Larry Bird and that era, right?
Right.
So that's why Larry Bird comes to my mind. Not because he's white, but because that's what I grew up with watching, right? Robert Parrish, he was my favorite on that team, the Chief, right?
Chief,
and a comedian friend of mine has a funny story about him in the shower, and I'll just leave it at that. And that's not why he's my favorite, but I loved Robert Parrish, right? And just that angry look and everything. But that's what I grew up with.
Right.
I that's the championships I celebrated when I was a kid.
So that's your reference point.
So that's my reference point.
Makes sense.
Just like Jordan is my reference point because I watched him and compete against Bird and compete against Magic.
I mean, Brady, we're going to say forever. Brady was the best. Brady and all these guys are going to be, Paul, we're going to be saying that forever. And like, we're going to have some little young puke tell us no.
Right. Well, yeah. And so, but it's an interesting point because I think what people have to realize is your reference point is what you grew up with.
Yes, I agree. Right? I can agree with that.
When I was a kid, I didn't have a Stanley Cup because the last Stanley Cup when they won, I was born in '69. So I don't remember that one, right? With Orr and Turk and all those guys. Right. So I grew up not having a Stanley Cup until 2011 when I was an adult and I had kids. And I'll never forget riding on the red line going into the parade. And some like 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid goes, "Oh, I've been waiting my whole life for this." I was like, "Fuck you, dude! I'm like double your age. I've been waiting longer than you." You know, so like it's just interesting that's you go with what you grew up with. So Cam Neely and that whole era, right?
Bork.
In the
Adam
80s,
Oates,
Ray Bork.
Yeah.
Now
Craig
Ray Bork,
Janney.
you know, Craig Janney, he was kind of a prick after a game one time, and I'll never let it go. But what's funny is you brought up with Tom Brady going to Tampa and winning a championship. And Ray Bork did the same thing. When
I celebrated that.
To the Avalanche. I think that was a little different.
It was very different.
Because Brady won a bunch here.
And I think that too, like, to your point, because he didn't win here, like we wanted him to win so bad as a city. You know what I'm saying?
Did.
Like I remember
we
that.
had a freaking parade for him when he came back.
Yeah.
With the cup.
There's very few. I think I don't know too many other players just in sports where it's like, you know, you've done your time and people like, we just want to see you win. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't care if it's with us. We don't. And it was also a thing where it was like, we can't do it for you.
Right.
So it's like that's the other piece. It was
he deserved one.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It was like you deserve that. Yeah.
Unlike Brady, who had already won 6, and not that you know, I'm not.
And then there was the beef between him and Belichick. People picking sides. It gets wonky. You know. So there was always there was all of this other turmoil that came with that, and you just wanted that to be. You know, at least for me, I can say I appreciated it more just when it was football. You know what I'm saying? Like as opposed to people. You know, bitching over who this and who that, and you know what I'm saying. But that, I mean, that comes with it. You know what I mean. But with Ray, but to your point, with Ray, it was like, you know, everybody wanted to see him get a cup. You know what I mean.
Well, the city loved. They still love him. I mean, and he's one of the most lovable guys. I mean, we see him at the alumni events, the golf tournament stuff, and he's just one of those guys that you're like, if he hadn't gone and won a championship, it would have been disappointing for him.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely,
you would feel disappointed for him. Because he deserved one, so that was kind of a little.
And I got to know his son Chris through the years, and got to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, we're working on Ray too. Yeah. Coming on.
I actually ran into him. I was flying somewhere. I saw Chris. He's scouting for Toronto.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's a little parenthetical aside.
I don't know. Whatever.
On Ray Bork.
Hey, he's legend, right?
No, he is. He is a legend. He is. Yeah. Now, so. We got into it before. We were taping, but we weren't taping. And we got into like the city of Boston having its different neighborhoods and whatnot. And you being a hockey fan is kind of unique. In the
being a black hockey fan in Dorchester.
Black hockey fan in Dorchester. Okay. I didn't want to say it and have everyone lose their fucking mind. You're a black hockey fan in Dorchester, right? Which is not something that is too common. Would that be fair to say?
I wouldn't say it's common, but I've come to find out that there were a lot more than I thought there were. If I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying. It's not like you know it's not like the Celtics where like you just gonna see people out. You know what I'm saying? Or at the bar. Like I'm not gonna be at the bar and hear somebody else gonna be like, "Yo, turn on the Bruins." Like that's never happened before. You know what I'm saying? But people who know that I'm into it, you know what I'm saying? Or like. I'll see somebody with a Bruins hat or a Bruins, button on their shirt or something like that. Just a Bruins anything. And I'll be like, yo, you fuck with the Bruins? And I'll just ask them. And then some people are like, yeah, da-da. And then some people have seen the video and they'll be like, yo, bro, I didn't know you fuck with the bees. Da-da-da-da-da. And so we'll start chopping it up based on that. You know what I mean? Right. So I've come to find that there are more than I thought there were, but we're not a collective community, if you will. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of sprinkled about, but we're out there.
Right.
It's funny how he makes like fans of the sport, like with his friends, like because he's been bringing people, myself included, to games a lot. Like over the past year, like my first Bruins game was going with him in what was it, like 2013, if I'm not mistaken, 2013, 2014. It was funny just being black and being there because we came out I remember we were coming out during one of the in one of the breaks, one of the intermissions. Came out to the concession stand area. There might have been one other black dude there. He was down the hallway, and he saw us. And black people, we have this understanding when we see each other, like yo. And then he actually just came over to us, and he was like, "Yo, man, I just gotta tell you." It's just nothing like seeing another one of us here. Like, and I'm just so glad they know from a hole in the wall. I'll never forget that day. We were definitely polka dots in the crowd, but yeah, like it was a really, really good time. And then since then he's been like, just casually bringing people to enjoy the sport. And I've watched a couple of his friends like become very knowledgeable of it, probably watch it almost more than he does now at this point, and really get immersed in the game. So it just takes, having people who can introduce you to it, have that representation. And again, that's what we wanted to showcase with the song, with the video. And before we go any further, shout out to Chris Brook FN, who shot that video, shot, filmed it, edited it, directed alongside SMOK, the man of real, as they know him. But yeah, we just wanted to shout out the person who helped to bring the visual to life.
That's cool.
So what's like the best part of hockey that you really love, or what drives you to the rink? What drives you to the passion of the sport of hockey? Like,
the fans are probably my favorite thing. I love the fact that I don't see people in Celtics jerseys or Red Sox jerseys at Bruins games. I hate when I see that shit at Celtics games. That shit is like...
Dude, two of my college roommates got kicked out of an American League game in Springfield because they were making fun of somebody wearing a hockey jersey. They were like, we got kicked out 10 minutes in.
You know what it is, right?
It's not shocking.
No.
It's like, I get that we're Bostonians and we want to be repping the city and all of that, right? But it's like, gang, you're at a fucking hockey game, or you're at whatever sport you're at. Right. Like, where are you at? Where are you at? Check in, gang. You know what I'm saying? Or stay home. Right. Or just put on another shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather you show up in the rival team's jersey than show up in the local team in the wrong sport. Because you just look like a clown. Right. And the thing I love about hockey culture is that they not for that shit. Right. You know what? The person next to you is gonna look at you with the stank face, like, who the fuck let you in? You know what I'm saying? Yep. They're gonna say slick shit all night out loud, not to you, but so that you can fucking hear it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain energy that comes with, you came here being disrespectful, so we're gonna treat you like that. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I appreciate that about hockey culture.
I appreciate it in terms of fandom and how people watch hockey. So this year we've been to 3 games. I can't remember whoever we played on fan night, but we went to, like I said, the Maple Leafs game, and then we recently went to the Kraken game when they honored Jack Edwards. Shout out to Jack once again. And each time, again, as a person who's kind of novice watching it and learning it slowly, when whoever he sat next to, they were having very textbook technical conversation about the sport, and I noticed that's the case kind of with everybody that's there. Is not really casual, like they're not just sitting there just kind of chumming it up, and they're talking very in depth, almost like they're calling the plays, so to speak. Like, so when you go to the games, I know it's very different as me going to a hockey game versus a basketball or football game or something like that. Like the people who watch it are really into the sport. They don't got time to be sitting there and making nice. Like, they're really into every play, good and bad. And it's very and I feel like hockey fans are the most intense. Like, I respect it, so I go there and I watch with a very different lens than I do when I'm a spectator or somewhere else.
That's interesting. So when you first, because you watched and were into hockey since you were a kid.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly, yeah. So you go first game, right? What's your initial, like, that visceral reaction when you watch this sport that you have no idea what it's about?
Well, when we walked in, it was a fight. So I was like, "Oh, word, I'm locked."
Fades on, fades on.
As soon as I walked in, mask was coming off, the fade was on. My introduction to it. Actually, interestingly enough, my first autograph, you brought up Cam Neely. My first autograph I ever got was Cam Neely's. My mother was working at Boston University, and for some reason he was there.
Rehabbing.
Probably. So and this was like, I want to say 92, 93. I know I was in
He was
second grade.
rehabbing there with Mike Boyle. Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So she got autographs for me and a couple of my friends. We were in elementary school. But then fast forward to going to that first game, I just hadn't, other than one college game that I went to, maybe like in Rhode Island, this is my first like NHL game.
Yep.
So going into it, I didn't really have an expectation for it other than the intensity. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know the terminology as well. I know a lot more of it now than I did in 2013. Learning from SMOK. But it was just cool. Like it was intense then, and now this year is the most that I've been to Bruins games, like 3 of them in a year.
Tell them about what it was like watching the Panthers game.
All right, so
because
that was a tough one.
Y'all don't know to ask him about this question.
This goes back to when we were originally promoting the record coming out. Like, so this was last season, end of last season, and we were playing the Florida Panthers, and we were going to all of the watch nights or the watch parties, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we went to one. I can't remember if it was Greatest Bar or something like that, but we were downtown, and obviously all of our hearts were broken, like in Game 7 when we lost. And then fast forward to when we met you all. What was the name of the bar? A couple months back.
Oh, we were at
Scoreboard, right?
Scoreboard, yeah.
Scoreboard.
Yep.
So when we met you all at Scoreboard, and we were playing the Panthers that night, and I didn't know we were playing the Panthers that night, but because of how upset I was about having lost last year, again, not being as vested as a lot of other people, but as I have a vendetta. So like I now have a vendetta even as a novice fan. So the day that we beat the Panthers, and I don't care whatever, it could be a season game, it could be an NHL final, I'm there, and I'm talking big shit when it happens. So when they lost that night, I was like, no. Like that was the first time I felt myself getting emotional about a Bruins game. So like,
drag you in.
Yeah,
you're
hooked
now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I came in there just very
Hate
chill.
the Canadians.
I didn't know we were playing them that night. So when I looked up, I was like, wait, that's who? Nah, we need this. But didn't happen that night. But whatever the case was. So yeah, I like I said, shout out to SMOK first and foremost, just for introducing me to it, but just hockey fans in general and the intensity that y'all bring to it, because you make it fun for people like me and want to learn about it more. So,
yeah, and it is a very emotional sport. Like you get into it, like even just coaching.
Yeah.
Right? When I used to coach, I'd like be ready to fight someone for my players,
I've only yelled once this year.
As a coach?
Yeah, as a coach. It was a player safety issue.
I keep saying the over-under on him getting thrown out of a game. I got thrown out of a few because I was a complete asshole.
I don't think this year. I don't think I'll see myself getting to that point. But
you think you got it? You think you got it down now?
But I was yelling at the other coach, though, not the referee.
That's true. Yeah. You're gonna have a fight with the other coach before the referee.
Yeah, I think it's impossible to have an emotionless hockey game.
Yeah,
who you are.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Now, we bring up the refs.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the refs?
You know what's ill, right? So first of all, there's always things I wanted to know about, like hockey refs, right? Like, are you guys actively like ducking the puck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes when I'm playing the game, or even when I'm watching on TV, you guys seem to be like, I'm like, how the fuck do they always move?
Anticipate play.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you anticipate the play. You get deep below it, right? You put yourselves in spots where the players don't play, and where the puck is,
like,
where it came from. I go where it comes from a lot. Like, if the puck's coming at me, I'm going that way.
Okay, right? I was gonna say, do you have specific places on the ice where you're like, okay, these areas are like, we'll call it a safe space for like least likely to get hit by a puck space?
Boards. Yeah, along the boards. You don't want to ever be in the center. That's the no man's land, right?
Right.
So if you ever find yourself in the center of ice or in the play, you're fucked. I mean, it just, you want to be within 3 feet of the boards typically, in the corners. Yep. You want to be on the outside of basically the rink, right? That's the safe place. And then within that, there's, that dance you kind of have to do in making sure that, now, some guys are great at it. Some guys are great finding an open space. He was fantastic at it. Some guys are comfortable working in traffic, and, they have no problem with people getting killed right next to them and not, being dry. And then there's guys who suck at it and are afraid to be out there, and they are the ones that put themselves in the position that they shouldn't be in.
And it's also, there's no out of bounds, right? You get
Right.
bored, you can't go anywhere, right?
Right.
So, like, I took this here with a stick one night, just coming around. The kid had a stick, out, boom, clipped me. It happens. I got hit with a puck here, yeah.
I got shot by the SEAL.
Yeah.
I'm in position, just wrong place, wrong time. That
Right.
happens too. So even if you're in the right spot, you still can get hit because it's such a fast game, But, it's an art form, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like anything else, to be out there and to kind of be out of the way, right? And control the game in a way that doesn't decide the game. It really is an art film. And some guys are really good at it, and some guys really suck at it.
And then you got really shitty players that miss the net. Remember, Gudas?
Yeah.
Yep, plays for Anaheim, plays for Tampa. Yep, Gudas, big defenseman, hard slap shot, right?
You know what that reminds me of?
Gouda.
Real E40. I know y'all out there don't know what we're talking about. E40, some rap shit. Go listen to E40. You know what I'm saying? Check out 40
I
Water.
have no idea what you're
Out the
talking
Bay
about.
Area.
I know. We just went real West
I was
Coast
in there looking, I'm like,
rapping.
I was like, is he really about to do this?
Yes.
Mike
Let
and
it rip,
Zero
baby.
all know what you're
Let it
talking
rip.
about. Gino and I have no idea. That's okay.
Tell me when to
Listen. Tell me when to go. Yeah. Your audience may actually know that record. Yeah, there we go.
Right on.
Anywho.
Yeah, getting hit with pucks, getting out of the way, and just ducking and grinding.
Do either one of you have a call that you've made in a game that sticks with you to today that you feel like, damn, I fucked that shit up bad?
There's not a call that I was like.
Or you just can't let it go, or you know what I'm saying?
I've let a lot of bad calls go. You have to, because it's a mental game.
Right. That's why I asked if there any that stick. You know what I mean?
One that sticks for me was it didn't change the outcome of the hockey game. So the hockey gods were with me on this one. It was one of the Hughes brothers, right? They played for Michigan, best skaters in the world, and they're coming right at me, and they're playing Notre Dame. And the stick's in there, and I'm coming down, and I'm kind of coming down to the goal line. And the stick's in, boom, the kids fall, my arm goes right up. But I was like, fuck, the stick didn't get him, right? Because, you're supposed to look and see. I reacted to the result of the arm, and I didn't physically see what happened. I reacted quickly, and I should have just grabbed the side of my pants instead of just, waiting. And good thing that they killed it off and, wasn't a goal or anything like that. So I got very lucky. But that's one that always sticks out in my mind, where it's wasn't a fucking penalty. Put your arm up. What the hell? Yeah. Especially at that stage, it was Frozen 4, right? The last 4 college teams in the country are playing. It was in Minnesota, hockey hotbed of America, right?
Yeah, big business. Yeah.
So it was a big deal, and it's the worst. You want to chew your fucking arm off. And
right.
You go to your partners and you're like, tell me that was a good trip. They're like, just keep fucking moving. You you already know, right?
Yeah. Right.
And then I even went up to Notre Dame, and Jackson was like, get the fuck away from me. He's like, we're going to kill it off. He knew, right? Everybody knew.
Right. And you just got to take that on the chin and keep rolling. Okay.
Right. And just don't fuck up again.
Okay. Yeah, no.
We've talked before about, hockey referees picking up the flag.
Yeah.
And
you can do that.
Why we don't have that option.
That was gonna be my next question about that, because obviously in football they have that, and so I was wondering if
they have that now in the NHL, and they have it in college hockey. But the way it's set up in college hockey now is It's fucked up, but you have to have a major penalty on the ice going in, right? So you have a major, and now you have all the options when you go in review. You could have a major, you can have a minor, or you can have nothing.
Well,
right?
you guys were talking about this last week, I think, a little bit, right?
Yeah, a
little bit.
About increasing the penalty from a minor to a major and such. I told you I was tuning in, cuz. Come on, cuz.
He did his homework.
Come on,
He did do
cuz.
his homework.
Come on, man.
That's right.
So,
Listen,
for
man.
instance, right? Like I step up, I hit him, right? You guys got your arm ups. You guys are reffing. You guys got your arm up for a head contact, and you go, oh yeah, hit him clear as day. You go in to review it. I get him here in the shoulder, clean hit. It's not even a penalty, and you're like, fuck. Now I'm throwing this kid out. Like if we didn't have the replay, now we're throwing him out for a clean body check because it was a big bang.
Bang
it's
play.
Hockey. It's physics, right? Like two people coming with speed, you're gonna have a big bang, right? So you go in, you look, and you're like, oh fuck, right? Now you don't want to throw the kid out. Now you have the option to go minor if, like, he hits him here and then rides up, right? You can go minor penalty. It wasn't direct principal point of contact to the head. Now if you go in and look, it's right to the shoulder, clean hit. You can pick that flag up now. But if you have a minor, this is interesting. If you have a minor penalty on the ice and the coach challenges it, right? You go in and look, and it's the same result, saying, fuck, I shouldn't have called it. You still have to stick with the minor penalty.
Which doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
You can only change it on a major.
You can only change it on the major
If you
penalty.
have a major going in.
Interesting.
I've picked up the flag a couple times on too many men on the ice where your linesman calls it and you had a good look at it and you weren't going to call it. So you say, hey, you know what? I had a good look. Hit from his angle, it was too many men, but I didn't have it, so we're picking up the flag. And also on face-off violation. I picked up that flag because, in my mind, it was the linesman's fault. It wasn't the player's fault. And next thing you know, they want to give him a penalty, and I'm like, no, that was on you, not,
I've picked up flags in pro hockey on high sticks. Like a puck hit them, or it was their own team, and you go ask the linesman or whatever. And this one particular one, linesman can call the double minor, right, if they see it. So he thought the stick hit him, and it didn't. It was the puck, and I saw it clear as day, and I went over, and I'm like, dude, what do you got? He goes, I'm like, what do you got? I was like, we got offside. We got face off, right? It's like,
okay.
Why'd you blow the whistle?
No,
It was just like, you got to,
Right.
it's hard cover. It's not hard covered. The rule book's not hard covered. You can bend it a little bit.
Got you.
it's definitely bendable.
Yeah.
More so for some than others.
Do you guys? I hear people say that quarterback is the hardest position to play in sports, and I feel like as a person who's never played quarterback or goalie, that goalie has to be the hardest position in sports. Would y'all agree with that?
She's 9 years old playing goalie.
Is that you know what I mean?
It's up there. Yeah.
Granted, obviously y'all could be biased because you guys play hockey and not football, but
right.
I just feel like the position of goalie, like, I be trying to play in like my player, and I be trying to there's just stylistically awareness. There's just so many things that have to be moving on time that it's kind of like, and the game
luck.
depends on you at the end of the day. Right. Obviously, you're as good as the team in front of you. Like, I get all of that or whatever. But if it comes down to a shootout, it's me and you. That's it. You know what I mean?
It's a great comparison when you really think about it, because the quarterback can, he's in danger every play. Goalies are in danger every play, right? They're facing 100-mile-an-hour shots.
Yep.
The quarterback's facing 300-pound linemen, right? And it does come down to decision making. Right. That's a really interesting. But I would say they're both. Some of my best friends growing up are goalies, and there's something wrong with them. I'm sorry, but a goalie you have to be a little bit off to want people to shoot that puck at you as hard as they shoot.
This is what I'm screaming.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
When you go out there, and then when you think about guys making like 30+ saves a night, like everything ain't fucking in the mitten.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're taking a beating out there, even with the pads. You know what I mean? So and it's not like you got guys out there like blocking for you. Like, you ain't got linemen out there. And so I don't know. When I see hockey, when I see goalies in particular, I feel like that is the hardest position to play in sports. I know people would argue quarterback, but I don't know. I don't see it. Because I can throw a football. I might not be good at it, right?
Yeah.
But I can throw a football down across the street, whatever. I can't tell you that I can stop a puck if it's coming at 20 miles an hour,
right,
let alone 80 miles an hour. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like that's most people. You could take the regular players who play hockey, who aren't goalies, and they couldn't stop the puck. Whereas everybody else, you have wide receivers and running backs that, they do the flea flicker Hail Mary all the time. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That was always something I wondered. I wanted to ask some hockey guys.
I learned. I would say goalie. I learned I wasn't a goalie in my driveway when my brother Steven, who got me in a refereeing, give him a shout out. He was 6 years older than me, and when you're the young kid among the group of kids in the driveway, you're like, get in net, and, and you got little shin pads on, and I remember I had a cardboard chest protector. It's a piece of cardboard, and they would fucking rifle those orange hockey balls.
The little orange hockey.
No, we weren't talking. They were orange hockey balls, and I learned very quickly I am not a goalie. Yeah. I do not like this at all. And
I remember those.
Orange, Wow. A fucking cardboard chessboard. That's just so stupid.
My old man yelled at me for not wearing a helmet one time playing street hockey. Yeah, that wasn't
without a helmet.
Either. Yeah.
Who wears a helmet playing street hockey?
I don't know.
Well, you had a different era. See, we didn't wear helmets riding bikes. We didn't wear helmets at all. So in goal I always had a Jerry Cheever's mask.
That's what I was playing. I was playing goal with no helmet.
Oh, I thought you were just playing street hockey.
No, I was down. I was down playing with the older kids, and my father drove by and he was like, stopped, got out of the car, started yelling at me like they were like ripping them. I was loving it. I don't know. I was like 8, 9 years old, whatever.
Yeah, no, I had the Jerry Cheever's. Yeah. Which was you might as well wear nothing.
Right.
Because all it did was it took out the cut.
And it was
but the sting was
the sting was still the you can still feel it.
Yeah, right against your face. So stupid. Yeah.
Did you actually draw on it too when you got hit?
Did you, of course.
Yeah, right? You gotta.
I get the marker out.
Oh, yeah.
The Jerry Cheever's mask.
You were the one that put us on the slap shot because you mentioned that earlier. So when I was looking, I'm like, I remember there were the only people who were protected were the goalies. Everybody else was playing without masks, and I'm like, wait, hold up, like
we tuned into that. We tuned into that.
Yeah, so we had a discussion back. I
think we might have been on. We might have been on the jack.
I brought up slap shot. We were on the phone talking about coming on and this and that. Bring up slap shot. SMOK never seen it. And I was like, what? You can't be a hockey fan without seeing Slapshot.
So,
and
I watched it.
He did his homework.
I watched it. I watched it like 2 days ago for the first time.
Nice.
And it was different, right? It was one of those. There was things I appreciated, and then there was things that was like, oh, okay, typical hockey movie from the 70s.
Hanrahan's wife. Do you know who she is?
Yeah. What'd you say to him, Reg?
She's the mother in Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think I've seen that once.
Yeah.
So this is the other thing I'm learning. So this is what I'm learning, right?
A white movie.
This is what I'm learning.
I haven't Christmas Story in a while though, but that's.
But this is what I'm learning, right?
But I remember
I'm learning how But this is it.
That was great.
I don't I think I've seen Christmas Story one time. Being from Boston is really interesting, right? Because like I always try to tell people, like my friends in particular, like sometimes I embrace what I refer to as the pilgrim side of myself, right? And
Pilgrim side.
I knew he was.
I can't wait to hear this.
Access like, here you go, B. Yeah, I know, bro. It just happened, gang. Happens like that sometimes. You know how I am.
I'm surprised it took this long. Go ahead.
So this is the thing, right? Like before fucking the Sports Hub, right? 98.5. I used to listen to Mix 98.5. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What was that? Continuous Soft Rock, I believe, right?
Oh, yeah.
I used to listen to Magic 106.7. I used to listen to Kiss 108 because growing up we didn't have, like when I was younger, 94.5 didn't exist. The hip hop wasn't like on the radio in Boston.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm a Dunkin' Donuts junkie. I go skydiving. I do a bunch of things that black people from Dorchester are like, gang, come on, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? And it's like, hey, we're from here. You know what I'm saying? And quite frankly, I think that's what allows me to come on podcasts like this so comfortably, right? Because, like I said, I'm also a union carpenter. And so early in my early in my apprenticeship in my career, it was predominantly white. You know what I'm saying? And we would have on the job. We have all kinds of conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like no censor, no filter. There's no human resources to go to cry and complain about.
Should be though.
Someone drew something in the porta potty. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, it's hammers too. At the same time, you're holding hammers as carpenters. I mean, there's an immediate reaction and consequence.
I mean, but at
That's
the
what I
same
was
time,
thinking. I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, it's kind of like, and I'm just speaking for myself when I say this, right? There's a certain level of, even when I say the pilgrim side of me, like, you got to be able to dish it and take it. It's all tongue in cheek. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's what Boston's about. Right?
Yeah. And if it's like, if you from here and you get it, then you get it. And if you not, then you not. Right. And I'm not too hung up over explaining it to people who aren't from here and being extra politically correct, because it was like, that wasn't said for you. It was said for the person who understood what the hell I was saying. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's enough people that do understand that it doesn't make me feel out of place when I say something that most of the room may not get. You know what I'm saying? So that just comes with the territory.
I mean, Boston does have, and we've talked about it before, we're a unique animal in the world because we're very provincial. We're very protective. We love our sports teams. And, a lot of people don't get, we all grew up busting balls with our friends.
Absolutely.
That's all we did.
Yep.
All the time.
Just because.
Who can get the last word in? Yep. Who can get the best zing? And not everyone grows up like that. Right? Mm-hmm. There's people in the world they're like, "Wow, I can't believe you said that to your friend."
Why would you say that to him? Couldn't help myself. I just couldn't help it.
Say that. I'm like, because he's my friend and I want to bust his balls. That's why.
Because I can.
That's right. Exactly.
And that
you can't say it, but I can. Yeah. You can't say that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And protective of its identity down to the neighborhood. I mean, like being again, like I said, I went to school down south, and there was only one other person there from Massachusetts. So when they were like, you must know so and so because she's from Boston. So when I actually got to talk to her, she was actually from Lynn.
Right.
Now the infamous crime.
Yeah,
the infamous crime.
And so I wasn't gonna flag the Georgians, the Southern Peaches for not knowing that. But you weren't gonna get that off up here. It's a very serious thing. But yeah.
Now, you didn't really fully explain the pilgrim side. I want to hear more about this.
I just mean that.
Because I want when my I say side, that, like, what would my side be? My pilgrim side.
Would I say that? I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
What I would say to that, what I would say to that? I would just say that you are a pilgrim.
That's what I'm saying.
This is why I'm sitting this water right over here. Have fun.
Yo,
I'm just wondering what I call it.
Axe is like he's kind of like my.
All right, so you can have the, you know how like in the cartoons they got the angel and the devil whispering on the side? Yeah. I tend to be the angel whispering on this side.
All right.
Sometimes.
All right.
He's kind of like my hey, we're doing too much, and I'll be like, oh, my bad. All right, cool.
But I'm also not any better because sometimes he might do too much, and I just want to see what the reaction is going to be. In this case, I feel pretty comfortable. I was like, nah, I was gonna say, I was like, in this place, I'm like, nah, let it fly. I'm gonna let you rock.
That's Gino. You go, Riley's going off. Let's see where this goes. And next thing you know, I'm sack tapping a moose.
And we're so yin and yang because he, like you said, he's a carpenter. So like their conversations are way different than the conversations I'm having in the school system, where you are going to human capital or human resources behind some inequitable something.
Right.
All it is for me is like Boston. I feel like there's black Boston and there's white Boston, and when I say that, I just mean that there are things that white Boston is into that black Boston isn't, and I embrace those things on a different level than the people from black Boston usually do.
Cool. All right, that's a great. So I definitely embrace black Boston in many ways. So I must have a.
Yeah, we gotta come up with another side.
You gotta come up with a side.
Because I haven't said it all episode, right? But I can't just be like his nigga side. You feel what I'm saying?
I was like,
so I wouldn't say it all episode. I was trying to keep it. I was trying to keep it G. I was trying to keep it. I was trying to keep it cool.
I'm like, what?
That's not what I was thinking. That's not what I was thinking.
Right? Why you touch me to say your bullshit?
Because I needed.
I'm playing with you.
That's not what I was thinking. I'm thinking Dark Pilgrim, maybe. You know? Wow.
That's how these things go with us, man.
Yeah,
and so when he says he's gonna sip the water, that means, would you say?
Yeah.
They just want to see how far you gonna go too fast? Shit happens fast, man.
0 to 60.
So yeah, so we gonna come up with something. We gonna come up with something good.
You gonna come up with something. Don't get it fucked up. I'm not jumping in the water with you, but I'll watch.
I'm not ever having that side.
Shout out to the Jackie Robinson episode.
Yes.
Right after that.
And if you haven't picked up on that,
42.
that was just the universe taking care of that. This
That really
not
was.
planned.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We did not talk about
Absolutely
that. We
not.
didn't even know what episode we were on.
No,
when
he asked what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I missed the last two, I think.
Yeah. Well, you did. You missed the last two.
Yeah, the live one.
And I won't say what I said earlier about this being a zebra podcast, but if you guys switch seats, we'd be nailing it.
That was a good joke.
That was actually
That was the winner. That was a winner.
actually pretty good. That was pretty good.
I
hope- hey.
My zebra side.
I hope-
that side.
I hope-
My zebra side.
There
we go.
I told you he was going. I told you we was on it. I told you we was on it.
Win.
My
For the
zebra
win.
side. Maybe we'll all embrace the
There it
zebra
is.
side.
We all embrace the
Maybe
zebra side.
maybe I'll use that so I'm a little more politically correct.
I think, yeah.
We got to
I
get
like
him a
that.
zebra shirt to wear to the
Zebra
next
side.
Bruins
Yep.
game.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And you know what? I think you should write a rap song about referees.
All right.
How's that sound?
You down for if he produces it, we get it done.
Challenge.
Yeah, if you need some
That's a
lyrics,
challenge,
if you
yeah.
need
He's
some
the-
lingo, if you need some lingo, we'll hit you
yeah,
up with some
lingo.
lingo.
We'll make
I'm about to say we got that. He got the glossary of
Yeah,
we'll terms all in that.
we'll open up Chirping Zebras with a bang. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Maybe we could have our theme.
theme
You guys
song.
could do our theme
Cause
song.
yeah, cause you know, not for nothing, I'm not gonna rag on nobody else, but I done heard a lot of theme songs out there that are really chips. So you know,
For the slang impaired, it means terrible. Carry on.
yeah, oh yeah, my bad, I forgot.
For the pilgrims.
he brought his translator.
No. And it's not even just the pilgrims. I'm just saying people who might not be hip. That's
For the
all.
slang impaired.
You're the woman in airplane. All of a sudden, I speak jive. I can take this. That movie was way before your time. But anyway.
Played a good one.
Yeah, no, I think you guys could do we don't have a theme song.
No.
We play like a cool little beat,
Yeah.
but it's like generic.
Yeah, we need
we need a Chirping Zebras theme song that's like off the hook.
Yeah.
How about that? That was good for me, right? Look at that. We need
We're so proud.
we need a dope
Hey, listen.
intro song.
Yo,
Look at me.
gang,
Look at
I'm
my
telling
zebra
you,
side.
when the gang watches this back home, they are gonna be in tears, bro. This is gonna be classic. Thank you guys for having us on. Seriously,
For real, man.
like we're having a
Absolutely.
blast,
This is great.
fun,
This is
too.
great.
and
This is
and-
all that I thought it would be.
And to be,
Seriously.
this is better than I thought it would be, to be
All
honest
right.
with you. And I didn't think it was going to be bad, but I just, you know, what I really enjoy is that, you know, these are conversations that you just don't get to have often. You know what I mean? Especially knowing that other people are going to see it. I have conversation like this with, you know, with the homies all the time. You know what I'm saying? Ragging and joking and stuff. But it's dope to know that, you know, there's real substance even with the jokes, you know what I mean? And for people who are watching, these are topics in territory that doesn't often just get discussed in the sports or in the Boston space, you know what I mean? People are so fucking sensitive to the city and the town they're from and all of these other things. And I am too. I'm not blaming. If you think I'm making it sound like it's just y'all, it's me too. So it's not just y'all. And so because we're all like that, a lot of times we just don't get to, people don't get to see other people having conversation that they can be like, yeah, bro, I'm fucking with that. What he said, just like that. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes.
Fuck, when we met you, I mean, that was the takeaway we got in the car. We were like, we got to have these guys on. What an interesting conversation. 5-10 minutes we met quick, right? And, you know, exchange numbers and, you know, just like your perspective on, you know, on hockey and your culture and everything. It was like very interesting. And yeah.
Well, I think what's great too is, and we're so the city is so sensitive. Like us busting each other's balls would make a lot of people uncomfortable.
Right.
Absolutely.
If they didn't know, like if they were just watching from
Afar.
or maybe watching on YouTube, they not knowing that Like, that's fucking great stuff.
Right.
To be able to do that, because you know what? At the end of the day, we're no different.
That's right.
And we're Bostonians who bust balls.
Right.
That's all it is. But so many people get like, because I have a comedian friend, Greg Howell, G Funny. I love the kid. We bust each other's balls so much, and we make other comics, not, civilians, other comics uncomfortable with the shit we say to each other. But he knows where I'm coming from. I know where he's coming from.
Right.
And we have a blast doing it, but we make people uncomfortable. It's like, no, don't be uncomfortable.
Hey, question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know if Beetle is from Neponset?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
He's from Neponset specifically?
Yeah, he's pretty. I think he's from Quincy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I heard him
he's
say
originally from Quincy.
I heard him say he was from Dorchester, and
he
I
lives
was
in
like,
Dorchester. He's originally. I think he might be originally from Quincy.
because I thought I heard him say he was from Dorchester before, and they be saying he's from Dorchester, and I'm like, where the fuck? Never. And I'm not trying to rag on you, Beetle, if you're listening. But I'm just saying, like, the reason I said Neponset is because I'm like, he don't give Dorchester vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think he lives over by St. Brennan's.
What I mean by Dorchester vibes, just to be clear, because I don't want people to think that it's a black thing. I mean, like, Mike Gorman, when you hear him, like, when he used to, before he retired,
City guy.
he would say slick shit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, his jokes would be real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so Beetle don't talk like that. He don't talk like us. You know what I'm saying? With that inner city vibe.
I think he's from Quincy, to be honest with
Okay.
you. Yeah.
And so I always wondered that, because it goes back to, when we talk about what people talk about in the city or on as sports and stuff, it's like, if he lived in Dorchester, he would have different opinions on things.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
100%.
you can't, you're going to be a part of a certain conversation flow, a certain wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so when we were talking about, the level of black representation in in Boston sports media, you know what I'm saying, as it pertains to that, the opinions that I have, I feel like there are a lot of other people who share my opinion. It's just that they don't have a platform to share it on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I hear, it's why I heard he was from Dorchester. I'm like, word, dope. Like, Mike Gorman's from Dorchester. I know you're from Dorchester. I'm fucking with you. That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You from the town, we rocking. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what got me. So it got me into Wiggy, not because he was black, but because he's from Eastie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you from the town. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, that's all. I was wondering.
Interesting. I think, we talked about Boston sports radio, and it's so crazy, but there's not a good representation.
Yeah, I mean,
Michael Hawley was on
and
the
I
radio
fuck
for
with
a
Mike.
long time. But when you think of Michael Hawley, he's not like Wiggy is city.
Well, I think there's
right?
also
like he's one of us.
And I think too, there's also a certain energy, right? Like, Michael Hawley, and I don't know him personally, but I'm sure when he goes on NBC Sports Boston with like Mike Felger at the end of the night to do their show, there's a certain level of professionalism he has to have. I come on the show and I'm smoking stroke. So I don't have that. I'm already not professional.
Right.
And there's no expectation for me to be anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can express different thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I can crack jokes that he can't crack.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
And so
and I love Michael Hawley. I'm not saying
and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not trying to rag on him. I don't know him, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of what box he's in because of his job. When we talk about representation, he's in a professional space, so he can't, he can't be like, yeah, you can do some nigga shit. He can't say nothing like that. You see what I'm saying? And so, but people, sometimes it's like, sometimes you want to say it how you want to say it. And whether it's politically correct or not. And so I just think that when I think of Boston in particular, I think sometimes we just need stuff to not be so professional, and you can get a lot further. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because Boston's everything's not all
buttoned up.
Yeah,
right?
like it comes like people want it to come across as it's dirty, it's blue collar. You know what I'm saying? And so that energy is that's how the people are, same way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when people have conversations, it's like that's not. We gotta talk. I'd like to do something with y'all where we could come in and we could just talk about the sport, and then like some different components of things that have happened in the sport, and just kind of break them down. Because what happens is I'll be talking to y'all and something will come to mind and I'll get ready to go there, but then it's like we was just talking about that, and then it'll go, you know what I'm saying? And so I'll find myself going in different directions because this isn't conversation that we get to have often, and I want to be able to share as much as I can. You know what I mean? Not that I have the overall opinion on it, but I also know that just like we don't get this opportunity often. So, and I don't mean we as black people. I mean we as a whole, as a collective, don't get this opportunity often. So you know what I mean? I be trying to get in as much as I can, but it's like we can always do this again. You know
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, we'll see you guys at events and all sorts of shit. And we can jump on and have a quick combo, whatever.
Yeah, like one of our live tapings, you guys got.
I mean, even like a B-roll reel, like we can just sit around a fucking table and have a conversation and.
I mean, listen, we fam here. Like I said, we gonna build, man. We gonna build.
Right on.
Two things that you mentioned. Blue collar town. You know, that I think is why the Bruins, to bring it back to the Bruins, that's why there's such a great love of hockey and the Bruins specifically, because they've always been that blue collar, show up to work, bust
grind
your
it out,
ass, grind it out. And they represent the city.
And the players stay here too, right? They all
stay here.
They're all involved in the community after they play.
They love the fans just as much as the fans love them. It's not like baseball. It's not like football. And basketball, to a degree, is similar, but not. Hockey is just that.
Hockey's a little different.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's
very
cool
different.
Thing.
It's very
now,
different.
I'd be remiss because this happened recently during a Celtics broadcast, and while I have you, I want to get your take on it.
Absolutely.
Pritch, where's my money? Did you hear the
Pritch, where's my money?
Yeah.
Who said it?
What's his name? That does the play-by-play for
Celtics. I did hear this.
Was it Max?
No.
It was Scal. No. Gorman.
Yeah.
No. Who was the
other dude who replaced Mike?
Who's the play-by-play for the Celtics?
Scal, and but there's another guy who replaced.
Was it Scal?
So there's Scal, and there's the guy who replaced Mike Gorman. I can't think of his name right now. It's his first year though.
It's his first year, but he has all these.
It's not
like,
Zach Lowe, is it? No.
But he said, "Pritch, where's my money?" When Pritch had hit and it was a whole thing like, "Oh, is he trying to be cool?" And "Bitch, where's my money?" is a song.
ODB.
Yeah. So
Ariana.
No, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking, hey, Dirty. That's what was on my mind. But it is the Rihanna joint. You're right. He's right. I'm wrong.
Okay. All right. So but I figured because it was on the radio and all this bullshit.
I mean,
did we get a name yet? We got to come up with his name.
I'll say this.
Sean Grandy?
Grandy and Max. Yeah, Grandy.
Grandy. Yeah, I know Grandy. I don't know him, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Because I listen.
He's the other guy that's on there.
Yeah, with Max, with Cornbread. Yeah.
But it was like a hip hop reference by a
absolutely.
white guy. And
so this is the thing.
It was like, oh my God.
This is the thing, right?
I don't see it.
And this is the thing, right? I think that it goes back to the city being sensitive. There are some things where it's kind of like, yo, all right, check it out, right? When I go to like hip hop concerts and stuff in Boston, the crowd is, at least 60 to 70% white, right? Especially if you got a good ticket. So if I'm at a rap show, you know how many white people are around me singing whatever nigga this and nigga that are just that. It's just because that's the song that's on. Right. I can't beat up everybody in the crowd. I can't flag everybody in the crowd. You feel what I'm saying? Yep. So there's some shit in Boston that and it's not just here, but I'm just speaking specifically for here, that if you a black Bostonian, you just have to fucking get used to, right? Like it or not, it is what it is. And so there are other things that it's like when we at a Celtics game and we playing the Warriors and everybody's like, fuck you, Draymond, right? Now, people nationally will say, oh, city's racist. I'll give you some of that comes with that. Not fully, but some of that. The other side is we're just an OD town. We say all kinds of foul and reckless shit with no regard for how you feel. And so I get that. That's where I come from. Whatever. Now, that being said, I am not mad at the people who scream, fuck you, Draymond. I'm from the city. I support it. I support us being over the line. However, I can't partake in that. Because black man to black man, if I say fuck you to anybody, it's up and it's stuck and it's for real. You feel what I'm saying? So there's a respect line that I'm not going to cross. Even though I don't know this man, I'm not culturally going to cross the fuck you line. You feel what I'm saying? So to circle around to Pritchard, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are just rap lyrics.
Right,
You feel what I'm saying? Or just song, not even, but song lyrics, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like people look for things to be frazzled and razzled about. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's like, I just think that if Peyton Pritchard wasn't like, yo, what the fuck, right? Then it's like, chances are you're just not, it's almost like that was too, I hate saying it like this. It's almost like that was too black for you. That expression was too black for you. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to say that was too nigga for you, not even too black. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's really what I want to say. And I say it because I say it like that just for the people who are watching. So they're like, well, why would you say that? And it's because it's like, that comes from a certain kind of culture. And so if they're looking at it like a white guy said this about another white guy and something and made a cultural reference that wasn't from either of their cultures, it's like, well, why would you do that? That's the frazzle. Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's like, as a person I don't care. That was dope. That's a dope play on words.
Used it in a good way.
Well, see,
it's a dope play on words, period.
Drew Carter, by the way.
Drew Carter.
We will, Samsonite, we were way off.
Yeah, Drew Carter.
John Grandy does all the, he's the
radio guy.
Yeah,
right. I was thinking of announcers,
But regardless to who said it, regardless to who said
The
it.
way I looked at it was, it's an announcer trying to be cutesy. It's an announcer trying to be, because think of how many announcers out there, and it started with, what was the guy's name in Pittsburgh with the Penguins when he used to say, he beat him like a rented mule, right? Like he had that, he wanted to get that thing.
I mean, if you're a color commentator, your job is to be colorful, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you may take it too far, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, what the fuck, man? Yo, Jack Edwards, I love Jack Edwards because he took it too far. I love Tommy Heinsohn because he took it too far.
Right.
Like, that's what I was.
Max is the same way. I think Max is fantastic. He don't give a shit.
Popcorn popper. Yeah, because I'm here for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're not, if that's not, and once again, being from Boston, we're biased, we're homers, there's a certain vibe to us. So for them to be calling the team, that's what I want to see. I know there's some people who are like, how come Jack don't actually call what's happening? I don't give a fuck what's happening. I can see what's happening.
Yeah.
Let him talk that talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like but that's just me.
He's a homer.
Tommy never talked about what was happening on the court.
No.
Ever.
Never.
We love Tommy.
Yeah, we did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now that he's not here, we miss Tommy.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I just think that sometimes people, I don't know, people get, a knot in their thong and they just kind of be on their fucking shit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I've never heard that one. A knot in his thong. I'm using that. You got a knot in his thong. You don't want to say that to your significant other, by the way. If you're watching them, don't ever say to your wife or your girlfriend, hey, what do you had a knot in your thong? Never say that to them. But I'm using that. That is fair, because that is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Not that I know that from. I never had a knot in my thong. I keep my thong straight, but and untied. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about. See, now he let me go. He let me go, just like you let him go.
Yeah, see?
I went way too far with that.
You gotta let him sit sometimes, bro.
Sometimes I just sit right over here.
You didn't want to throw in a pause for him?
For the record, I don't wear thongs all the time. Now, I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that one. That's a great. But you're right. People do get that knot in their thong and they lose their mind, and they don't need to.
Yeah,
they don't need to.
Relax, Boston. Relax, Boston.
That's right.
It's gonna get tense over the next. Listen. It's gonna get even more intense. I'm not gonna say what I want to say. We'll save that for the next episode.
All right.
You gotta save some juicy stuff for people. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's like what do we call that in the business? A tease.
Yeah, teaser.
Right? That's a tease. You gotta come back. We gotta figure out what number episode we gotta have you
guys
on.
will definitely be back getting on one of these guys' podcasts. Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking. We'll be talking real hip hop.
One of our producers here, Mike Scarfo, has Turntable Teachers.
Yes.
Fantastic
Check it
podcast.
out.
If you haven't checked it out, you should. You should like and subscribe, just like you should like and subscribe to Chirping Zebras.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Mike, Turntable Teachers.
That was pretty good.
But shout out to you, gentlemen. Thank you for having us, man. Like seriously, we appreciate it for real. This has been cool.
We've been.
We appreciate this.
Honestly, we've been looking forward to this since we met you guys at the scoreboard, and we said we can't wait to have them on. And I think this is, like you said, better than even imagined. And there will be a part 2.
Yes.
Right. There has to be a part 2.
And and like I told you, I'm honored to be in this podcast. Like, you know, some of the other people that you've had on, you know, like I said earlier, I was kind of semi-joking that, like, when people see this, they're gonna be like, well, who are those 2 black people that are just in the picture? You know what I'm saying, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Without knowing what we're talking about. You know, they've never seen us for anything. We don't got 1 million views on a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, people are really gonna look at it with that, you know, with that eye, and so. That combined with the people that you guys have already been interviewing that have done numerous things across different, you know, fields within sports, you know what I mean? Like our achievements aren't even in the same realm. And so for me, it's an honor to be here with you guys, even though we're just kicking it and, you know, keeping it casual. I also understand that, you know, sometimes you're given opportunities to spread your wings in ways that you may not expect. And so as much as I'm up here kikiing and talking shit and just, you know, doing my thing, I'm really honored, I'm really happy, I'm really blessed to be here. So I really want to thank you guys for having both of us on and, you know, allowing us to come on and just share our story.
I can say with utmost confidence, so we are honored to have you guys here. Yes, I mean, not to turn this into, you know, what do you call it? Grab ass session?
Yeah.
Is that what?
Right after the thong, right?
That's a little. You want to untie that knot? We're untying each other's knots. I didn't want to say a ball wash session, all right? But seriously, to have you guys on here is so cool because like the music you're making is incredible. People should see it. People should know it. People should listen to it. But also the fact that, you know, there's that connection between hockey and hip hop. I mean, that's another thing that people need to be aware of.
And we didn't even get into the history of it. Like, there's a whole connection. Shout out to TDS Mob. Shout out to RSO. Shout out to Acrobatic. You know, those are 2 groups and an artist who were a big part of the Boston Bruins, Boston hip hop lineage prior to us being a part of that. So we can, you know, we'll talk about that on the next one. So we got something else to really build on. But there's a
that's
whole.
Something I don't know. I mean, I would love to hear that.
Yeah. So I'm also the curative director at the Mass Hip Hop Archive at UMass
Boston.
Right.
You had mentioned
so
that.
that's what kind of helped me get that knowledge in terms of understanding what they did and what they, you know, prior to us being a part of this history. So, you know, I'd love to come back, and we'll definitely come back and just share that history so that other people know we're not the only people who are part of the Boston Bruins / Boston hip hop history lineage. And there's a whole story to it. So I'd love to come in and share that.
I'm thinking live taping at the museum.
That would be dope.
Right?
That would be dope.
I mean, why not?
Absolutely.
Right?
We're here for it.
Yeah.
We're here for it. Yeah.
I think we could pull that off and make that happen. I think that would be really cool.
Right on.
And then we could, you know, Mike could get involved. Music, we could put a concert on.
And
who
I'll
knows?
see, and perhaps maybe I'll see if we can reach out to. I'll see if I can reach out to those guys, like, because they're all friends of mine. The guys I just named. So if you know what I mean, if they're available, maybe we could set up something so that they
Love
can.
it.
Awesome.
You know.
I love it.
I just got one question before we get up out of here. Stanley, where the cup at?
Stanley, where the cup at? That's my new
Nice.
hook. You know, I'm just gonna yell that
Bring the cup
randomly.
back.
Do it.
I'm gonna be yelling that randomly everywhere. I'm gonna say it tomorrow while I'm teaching. Kids are gonna go.
You know what? I should have brought we should have brought the cup, bro, and just sat it on the table.
Stanley, where the cup
Next
at?
time.
That's-
Next time. Listen, now we know. Now we know. Now we know.
But, well, SMOK, you guys,
Yes,
seriously, thank you for coming on. We're gonna do more stuff together, I'm sure. Maybe we could be in your next video. The token white guys in the video.
I can't dance.
Can we be the token
Neither
white
can
guys?
I. Neither can I.
Listen,
I saw you on that Zamboni. You can't dance.
I can't dance either.
And he didn't
Listen,
vote. And he
yo,
didn't
listen,
vote
right?
either.
Hey, check it out.
Zamboni swing. You were doing this.
Listen, I'm
I
gonna tell
saw
you.
it.
I'm gonna tell you. They made the movie White People Can't Jump. They can make a movie Black People Can't Dance. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Not all of us can dance, and I'm one of them. I roller skate. That's why we brought people to the roller skating rink. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know your lane, man. You gotta know your lane.
Atta boy.
like it.
I know they're gonna be like, I know he didn't just go in there and say Black people can't dance.
I'm about to say, I
was speaking for myself, y'all. I was speaking for myself, y'all. Cut me, star me out, star me out, star me out.
Right up under the bus.
Because you know what's wild? We're talking to like three different people here. There's like one audience I'm talking to, then there's the audience who's watching that. It's like, oh yeah, you was on what? And then there's like people who actually know us. So it's like some things you got to clarify, and some things it's like, yo, fuck y'all, fam. You know what I'm saying? Come on, stop playing with me. You know what I mean?
Make sure everyone watching that didn't know, Axe can dance. All
He
right?
can dance,
Axe
I can't
dance.
But I can skate, and Axe can't skate.
Smoke can't dance.
So that's you gotta get in where you fit
But
in.
he knows his
Gino
hockey.
can't dance.
He knows his hockey.
Me? I can dance.
We're gonna have to. You know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to play some kind of game, right? To figure this stuff out. Because we seem to be a little bit more off the rockers. You guys seem to be conservative. But now that we find out that you guys are the dancers and we're not, we're gonna figure something out.
We all.
Wait a minute.
I like that.
Yo, bro.
Hold on. Unlike Axe, I use the word dancer very loosely. All right.
I feel like everybody's a dancer. It's just that everyone's style is unique. Take that as you will.
Well
Yeah,
played.
you know what I'm saying? That's it, right?
That's what you got you for, man. The politics. Well played, Axe.
Everybody watching.
Hey, everybody watching, tune into the Chirping Zebras.
Yeah.
Episode 43. We don't know who's gonna be on, but we are out of here. Episode 42. Hangers in the building. Axe, Smoke, Chirping Zebras, Hangers, and we out of here. Jackie Robinson episode. Pace.
That's how you close it.
Smoke, drink, and have sex responsibly.
That's how you close a podcast now.
Yeah, I do have to thank our sponsor, the Referee's Crease.
Oh yeah. Let me sit back down. Shout out to them.
We've had more classic endings. Bill Stewart walks off. Who dropped the mic on us? Someone dropped the mic. Was that Sanderson? I think Derek Sanderson. I don't know. Derek Sanderson dropped. Want to thank our sponsor, the Referee's Crease. We got a new promo. Yeah. We do.
We got a new ending.
Want to thank AOA Studios, as always, for hosting us.
Salute.
And doing a great job here. We want to make sure that you like and subscribe all on the YouTube, also Facebook, Instagram, the TikTok. Definitely Hangers. You want to find them online.
Yeah.
AOA Studios is online. The Referee's Crease, they're online. We're all online. Just go online and find us.
Find us.
All right, that's what you do, because that's what people do now is they go online, and you won't see us on a billboard. You'll see us online, chirpingzebras.com. That's where we are. So, and I think we're gonna play the video one more time.
Yep.
But
Yes.
I only have one more thing to say. Stanley, where
Where
my
the
comeback?
Where the cup at?
Stanley, where the cup at? Stanley, where the cup at? Here we go. Run it back. Yeah. Here it goes.
Yeah, I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Something's brewing at the garden. I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Don't get body check for what you started. Stanley with a cup at. Stanley with a cup at. Stanley with a cup at. It's been a minute now, it's time to bring the cup back. Ask Kyle, ask Gordy. bring it to you like the Bruins number 40. I'm from the era of the Nordiques. Pavel Datsuk with the Deke, short-handed. Brad Marchand with the shorty. About to go Tory Kruger. Boogeyman, rest in peace. Jimmy Hayes, Derek Brugers. You good, I'm Ovechkin. Best in the capital. Haters pasta knock me on the low. Ask Bruins fans that they know. Ever since Nintendo it was blades of steel. If you ask me, Esposito is the way that I feel. Females pirouette from my highlight reel. Cromwell a 5-hole, leave a yard sale. Yeah, back to the Mariola music. Tape to tape, I'm getting fan mail, but I can't tell cause it says Dom Hosick and Johnny Busick. All these pink cats know is I'm too sick. Healthy scratch, you a DMP. I'm undrafted Hall of Famer, Martin St. Louis. I Johnny Boy chuck a glove in the air and do my celly like Timu Solani. It's hockey night. Luke Robitaille skates up tight. Rick talking like I walk it, we can fight a lamplight. What I got you can't teach like height. Only way you calm me is Conn Smythe. I might go Conor McDavid. Sean Thornton still my favorite. Divers like Soup on Lapierre and Kessler, I hate it. Heckler, here's a Vesna, save it. Sidney Crosby beat you to the punch, I put the win in the Penguins. Ain't even begin to catch wreck. Mark Recchi, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4 check, cross check. I'm Jonathan 10 toes down from my hometown. As a matter of fact, yo, I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden.
Something's brewing at the garden. I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Yeah, I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Something's brewing at the garden. I just got the word that something's brewing at the garden. Don't get body check for what you started. Stay late with a cup back. Stay late with a cup back. Stay late with a cup back. If you ain't trying to pass it, nah, fuck that.